Hey, you've been thinking about getting your Oklahoma real estate license? Well, you're at the right place. Hey, I'm Brian Woodward. I'm the broker with Remax Energy Real Estate here in Oklahoma City. We actually have the #1 real estate team in the state of Oklahoma, but I'm here today to tell you about the 5 things you need to know to get your Oklahoma real estate license. So, the license, number 1, the license requirements. So in Oklahoma, they require you to have 90 hours of basically class time. So that can be done online, and I think most people do it online now. I don't even know that there's any schools available you can still go to. In fact, I was just talking to somebody the other day, and they were like, they couldn't find a class they could go sit in to take the school, so they were having to do it online. So number 2, a lot of people ask me, how long does it take? Like, how long does it take to get everything done? Well, most people it's going to be somewhere between 4 to 8 weeks to get your license. That's from the time you start the school till you go. You even got to do a background check, stuff like that. You know, if you really stay hooked up and study and stay on it, you maybe could get it done in 4 weeks, but I think most people is going to be closer to that 8-week mark. So number 3, what's it cost to get your real estate license? So this is something everybody's wondering, like how much it costs to get in the business and all that. So for one thing, the real estate school is going to cost you about $500. Now, you can probably find them as low as $300, and I actually have a school we're partnered with, and I'll talk to you more about it in the end. But, you know, really picking a good school makes a big difference. My number 1 thing I would want to know is, you know, am I able to call and talk to somebody? So if I have a question, can I call and talk to somebody, or do I just have to send an email and just wait for somebody to reply? So I would definitely want to be able to pick up the phone and call somebody if I had a question or concerned about something, especially on some of the questions that will be on the exam. You know, you might just need more clarity than what you're going to get from the school. So anyway, so cost to get your license. So $500 is what it's going to cost you to go to the real estate school, and you might, like I said, you might be able to find it cheaper. Then you have a background check. It's going to be $60. They're going to charge you an application fee of $35, $75 for a test fee, and then to get your license issued would cost $110. So just to go to school, get your license, get everything going with the real estate commission, you're looking at about $745. Now that's at the date I'm making this video, so obviously you would want to check and make sure that that's the same amount, but it's been about that same amount for several years now, so I don't know, I haven't heard that it's going up or anything, but so you're looking at $745 just to go to school and to get your license. Now, one thing I'm blown away by when people come in and talk to me, they come in to interview about coming to work, they're always amazed when I'm like, well, you also have to join the Board of Realtors. And they're like, join the Board of Realtors, what's that? Well, if you join a broker that's a member of the National Associations of Realtors or the Oklahoma Association of Realtors or the Oklahoma City Board of Realtors, you also would have to be a member of all those, you know, of all those realtor committees. So, which committee is not actually the right word, but you'd have to join all those associations to be a member with that broker. You also would have your MLS dues, and then, you know, you have to join the Board of Realtors. You're going to have your MLS key. Basically, you're going to be somewhere, I mean, you're probably going to be somewhere around $1,400. So the main thing is, and I don't know where you know, it could depend, all boards are different too and what they charge. So this could even depend on where you're watching the video from. So make sure you find out, call the board and find out in advance what's it going to cost you. Main thing is just to know you are going to have some additional fees there, because I am blown away by the people that go all the way through the real estate school, but yet they didn't even know anything about they have to join the Board of Realtors. So anyway, so that's, you know, you're looking at about $1,400 there probably, and then $745 for the school. I mean, I always tell people it's probably $2,000 to $3,000 to get going in the real estate business. You know, once you buy your business cards and different stuff. So that's number 3. That's the cost. Number 4 is make sure you go to the right school. And we talked about that a little bit earlier. I want to make sure it's a school where I can pick up the phone and call somebody if I have a question or want to talk to them. We actually work with Global Online Real Estate School, and John Mayfield, who owns that, I know for a fact he will. You know, if you call, somebody's going to answer the phone and you're going to get help. So that's my thing. Maybe you can find them cheaper. You know, maybe you can save $50-$60 on a different school or whatever, but, you know, does that really matter if you can't even get any help when you have a problem? So make sure you do some investigation. There's a ton of online real estate schools. I mean, if you search, you'll find many of them. But Global Online is the school we use, and I'll have all the links on this video. But also, what else nobody else tells you? Number 5, nobody tells you this. So they don't tell you when you go into real estate school, there's nothing in there about when you get your license, how do you get business? How do you run a real estate business? How do you evaluate homes? How do you show homes? How do you list homes? They don't teach you any of that in real estate school. You're not going to learn any of that. All you're going to learn is some of the laws and to pass the test. So the number 5, the most important thing is make sure you pick a good broker. I mean, the brokerage is going to be, really picking a good broker, it's going to be the difference in whether you fail or you make it. There's just no difference. You're going to have a broker that supports you and trains. You got to have a lot of training and then some coaching, to help you along. Also, it helps, if you go to work for a brokerage or a team that has leads, because if you can get some leads and get going faster, it's just going to get you more confidence, more knowledge, and help you get your career going a lot faster. Be leery of the brokerages where there's discount brokers. They're super cheap to work at. Because they're set up that way, because they're really set up for people who's been doing real estate for a while and know the business. And if you're new and you get in there, you kind of just got to figure it out on your own, and it's a really hard business to figure out on your own. So number 5 was, they tell you getting your license is easy, but I mean, that is the easy part. After getting your license and getting into the real estate, that's a lot more difficult once you start selling and working with clients. One thing I think also I want to make sure everybody knows is 80% of the people fail that get into real estate. And I'm not saying that scare you from getting into real estate or anything like that, but I think you should know. It's actually on the broker test. If you go to take the test of the broker, there's a question on there about how many people fail their first year in real estate. Well, it's 80%. That's a big number. So that's why all this stuff I just talked about is so important. He wants to go and spend all this money and all this effort, and then it doesn't even work out for you. Then you're out of the business in a year and you just threw $3,000 or however much out the window. That's why get with the right school, get somebody you can speak with, get with the right broker, somebody who's going to care about you, teach you the business, and train you and help you to build your own business. Because at the end of the day, that's what it is. You'll own your own business. So make sure, I will put the links below. If you have any questions or anything about real estate and you'd like to talk to me, just please give me a call. I have all my information on this video. Would love to talk to you, even if it's like, what I think everybody should do is probably go sit down and talk to a broker or somebody in real estate before you ever get your license. Just go sit down with somebody and talk to them, find out about the business. What's it like? What do you do? Is it stressful? Is it not stressful? Is it, go sit down with somebody or call me. I'll be glad to visit with you about it, or you can come in and talk to me about it. But I really think you don't know how it's crazy how many people go through completely through the real estate school, all the way up to get licensed, and they come in and talk to me and they're like, what? Because, I got to do this, I got to do that. It's a sales job. You're selling. You've got to get out and talk to people. That's the only way you're going to generate, And I think a lot of people are just blown away. I don't know if they just think we, go show houses, collect a paycheck, and then go home or whatever. But anyway, I'd be glad to answer any questions anybody has. Feel free to give me a call. Also, I have the link to Global Online Real Estate School, and we also have a discount code, so make sure you get that. If you put the discount code in, I think it'll knock $50 off. But once again, thanks for watching the video. And like I said, if you have any questions, reach out to me, and I hope everybody has a great day.